I'm Kevin IRL, and today I am going to react to your favorite PJ Masks ships. This was a highly requested video, and I was kinda reluctant to make it because there's a weird belief going around right now in Gen Alpha fandom purity culture lately that shipping children is somehow morally wrong. That was not a real sentence. I need to go outside. If you're one of those people, I don't know what to tell you other than kids have crushes. I mean, hell, I had a crush in kindergarten. Kids don't have crushes in a romantic or sexual sense, obviously. It's more like idealizing someone and wanting to get to know them in a platonic, puppy love, like kind of way. Although kids do have pretend relationships with each other sometimes, we're not gonna joke about dating and marriage here. Personally, I consider that kind of language to be inappropriate when talking about literal kids who don't understand that stuff and shouldn't worry about it for years to come. Now that we got that out of the way, just a warning to people who have strong opinions and get easily triggered by ships, this is a fandom of multi-shippers. You are going to see pairings you don't like. I'm not as big on shipping culture as most people in fandom, so I never really have a ton of favorite ships, and the ones I do like are usually kind of basic and obvious. When I started watching PJ Masks, there were a total of like 6 main characters, so the few OG ships I latched onto just kind of stuck with me, and the rest is history. Funnily enough, my top 5 favorite ships were actually ranked top 5 in the survey I put out, so I guess that says something about how mainstream my tastes are. Don't judge me. I'm always reluctant to share my opinions because shippers are flarping ruthless. But you know what? I've lost enough dignity at this point, so let's get into it. To the surprise of no one, the top ship was Lunalette. 25 of you submitted this one, and you had good reasons. There were 7 total episodes mentioned, but the most popular one was Heroes of the Sky, specifically the scene where Owlette jumps off of the flying factory to save Luna, even though she lost her ability to fly earlier. Crazy episode. Many of you said your reason for liking this ship was the enemies to lovers, hero x villain, nice girl x mean girl dynamic. Owlette and Luna fight a lot, but they do seem to get along well when they are on the same side and work together. Although I lost interest in Lunalette over time due to becoming preoccupied with a different Luna pairing, it was actually one of my favorites as a kid and still is. Owlette and Luna have so many sweet and wholesome moments together that I just don't think anyone can truly hate this ship. It really is the main ship I think about when I think of PJ Masks. Coming in at second place was Roma Ninja with 22 submissions. Some specific episodes you guys referenced for the ship were Catboy and the Shrinker, Wacky Floats, Heroes of the Road, and Heroes Everywhere. You guys really liked the interactions between Romeo and Night Ninja, specifically the scenes where they're forced to work together. You described their dynamic as brain x brawn, smart x stupid, and an old married couple. Several people said that. One of you said that Romeo is the pampered princess while Night Ninja is the loyal gentleman, and one of you said toxic yaoi. And of course, how could we forget that they canonically have 2 children together, Pirate Robot in the show and Ortisha in the books. Worst dads ever. Shout out to whoever said my mom thought they were canon, cause that is hilarious. It also seems to be a running theme with some of these ships. And the words of the wise Anon, Roma Ninja is life. Roma Ninja is love. Love knows no bounds. Love conquers everything. Love conquers pesky PJ Masks. Love takes over the world. Back in the day, I really liked Roma Ninja, but I kinda lost interest in it over time due to the lack of friendly interactions. Regardless, Roma Ninja is one of the OG ships, and I love to see it. If you know me, you know that I am the official president of Lunaco, no contest. Luna and Gecko have been my favorite pairing in the show for the past 10 years and have occupied most of my brain space as a result. I'm completely normal about them, trust. 20 of you submitted this ship. I'm so proud. And most of you guys mentioned Gecko Saves Christmas, the episode that started my obsession. You guys described the dynamic as bad girl x good guy and girl boss x male wife, and you really appreciated how they treat each other with a unique level of respect in the show. One of you said, the scenes where she lets down her guard around Gecko and actually talks about her feelings while he quietly listens hold my heart. He doesn't invalidate her feelings either, just suggests a more healthy way of working through them. I couldn't agree more. If you don't get this ship, let me just put it this way. Mean Girl believes she isn't worthy of love. Nice Guy gives her a chance when no one else will. She opens up and the two of them form an unlikely friendship. Luna is brash and high-strung while Gecko is relatively chill, so I think they balance each other out well. Blob actually informed me that the PJ Masks crew made Lunaco and Lunalette fan art. So there's a chance that some of the ship moments I thought I was just hallucinating in the show were completely deliberate. Tied with Lunica was Catlet, which coincidentally is my second favorite ship. You guys mentioned Catboy's Tricky Ticket, Owlet's Terrible Pterodactyl Trouble, and just season 1 in general as a reason for shipping them. You described their dynamic as old married / divorced couple and really appreciated how they look out for each other. One of you actually mentioned the way they often smile and glance at each other, which is one of my main reasons for shipping them in the first place. I see this dynamic as two childhood best friends who can practically read each other's minds. Connor is the impulsive one who's got his head in the clouds, and Amaya is the responsible one who provides a voice of reason and keeps him out of danger. I'm a real sucker for the best friends dynamic. Sorry Greg, but you're third wheeling with this one. A ship that I started liking later in the show was Octodillon. Octobella's Garden premiered in early 2021, and I latched onto the pairing of Armadillon and Octobella real quick. The episode description before it aired said something along the lines of Dylan falling under Bella's spell, so I shipped them as a joke at first, but the episode was actually kind of a banger, I won't lie. It's the only episode they interact in, so most of you mentioned it in your submissions. You guys really liked the idea of the two becoming friends and how the other characters would react to that relationship. Dylan and Bella have a very I can fix her, I can make him worse, male wife, girl boss dynamic that I live for. I think the two of them being unlikely friends would be interesting because they might bond over being outcasts or something.
What's going on with Octobella?
Tentacle girl? We're just friends.
So those are the top 5 ships and my personal favorites, but now let's move on to some of the other ships that were submitted multiple times. Romeo x Catboy, ship named Romacat. You guys really liked the comedic potential of this hero x villain ship. You pointed out that Catboy shows interests in Romeo's inventions, and one of you mentioned Romeo being a Catboy stalker, which honestly...
You made Catboy clumsy first? Yes, last night while he was sleeping.
That's fair. Someone once said the ship was like shipping Sonic with Eggman, and I don't really have a huge opinion on the ship, but whenever someone mentions it, I think of this one clip.
Excellent! This could be the beginning of a villainous friendship.
Catboy x Gecko, ship named Catco. You guys are really into the confident x Shy dynamic. You like how they help each other make rational decisions and how Catboy is protective of Gecko. I'm gonna be honest, I've never been a huge fan of this ship because I feel like they don't have very many good interactions. I'm not a huge fan of the way Catboy belittles Gecko. It's kind of giving like older bro, little bro to me, but I know a lot of you guys like this ship. Night Ninja x Catboy, ship named Ninja Cat. A lot of you said enemies to lovers because these two are very competitive, and one of you mentioned the short Masters of the Mountain, which like...
Catboy? Boy, am I glad to see you guys.
Need I say more? Night Ninja x and You, ship named Night You. I've heard a surprising amount of people talk about this ship, and I know it's probably an enemies to lovers dealio again, but I've never really gotten it because Night Ninja and You have never had a single friendly moment. Their whole canon dynamic is just Night Ninja trying to break into Anyu's house, so I'm sorry, I don't see this one, y'all. Night Ninja x Luna, ship named Night Luna. This is yet another enemies to lovers. That seems to be a running theme here. You guys mentioned the episodes Halloween Tricksters and Romeo's Disguise for this ship. This seems like a bit of a rare pair to me, I won't lie. I don't really see it, but go off, I guess. Gecko x Octobella, ship named Gecko Bella. You guys like this ship because of the enemies to lovers potential, and the general consensus is that Bella might be mean to Gecko because she has a secret crush on him. I'm gonna be brutally honest, this ship would have to be extremely mischaracterized in order to work. While Gecko was nice to Octobella upon meeting her, she bullies him relentlessly for no good reason other than being mean. I personally don't like shipping bully x-victim dynamics, but if this is an AU where Octobella has a secret good side or something, you do you, I guess. Kevin x Gecko, ship named Kevco. You guys like Kevco because of the good Wolfie. Kevin and Gecko bond over being excluded and treated like little kids by their friends. I personally see this pairing as a brother dynamic, but I can see why this ship is popular. To the person who apologized to me for submitting this, don't apologize. You guys are free to ship whatever you want. Romeo x Owlet, ship named Romelet. I've always thought that name was funny. Reminds me of an omelet. Specific episodes you guys mentioned were Glowy Moths and By My Pharaoh Feathers, and also credited En Passant, a short fanfiction written by Parent in 2018. The two have similarities because they're both brainiacs, so although I don't ship it, I can totally see them geeking out over science and technology together, and of course flying together. Newton x Gecko, ship named Nuko. Luna Kazumer. That's all anyone said about this one. And honestly,
Thanks, Gecko.
I'll never let my mistakes overcome me again.
Oh, I'm gonna push.
Yeah, these may have been the most popular ships, but wait, there's more. Romeo x Armadillon, ship name Romadillon. They complement each other and are both hated by everyone. The main episode credited here was Nobody's Sidekick, obviously, and I honestly gotta stand behind this one because damn, what an episode.
Well, he's been pretty friendly to me so far.
Let's chit-chat, muscle boy.
Anu x Newton, ship name Anton. Introverts who got dragged into the PJ drama. Ooh, I haven't heard of this one. I see the vision. They're both very stoic and scholarly, and I think they would enjoy having intellectual conversations without all of the PJ's silliness. And they both learn a lot from each other. Lily Faye x Newton, ship name Lily Star. Space friends. Aw, this made me think of Lily's debut episode. The two definitely have space in common, and I love thinking of them exploring space together. Owlet x Ice Cub, ship name Owl Cub. They both like music. Ah, freezing birdies! It was so cute when they formed a band together. Bastet x Catboy. They're both cats who love driving fast. Yeah, I can get behind this. Catboy is obsessed with cats, and finally he has a cat like himself to hang out with. He didn't like Bastet at first, but they hit it off eventually. Newton x Owlet, ship name Star Owl or Newlet. They're both nerds who love reading books. OP says, I just like imagining them having little book dates at the library. That is so cute. I can totally see this one. Nerd x nerd ships, hell yeah. And you x Bastet, ship name Sun Dragon. Ooh, that's creative, I like it. They both come from ancient times and struggle with modern society. And you x Pharaohboy too, because they're both from ancient times as well. I don't think these pairings have anything in common other than just being from ancient times, but these are definitely new for me. I have not heard of these. Luna x Catboy. Now this is one I haven't really heard of, but it made me think of that tango scene in Catboy's Cloudy Crisis. And also the dance party they had together in Catboy and the Lunar Dome. OP said, when I was a kid, I literally thought they were dating because of how many times they were in scenes together. This is really funny to me because I actually feel like Luna has the least interactions with Catboy compared to other characters. Lily Faye x Ice Cub, ship name Lily Cub. This one really made me think Heroes of Ice World. They didn't get along at first, but they learned to communicate and work out their differences, and they've been besties ever since. Night Ninja x Owlet, ship name Night Owl. Oh, I've only heard of this ship once or twice, and frankly, I don't see it. Genuinely zero thoughts on this, because I can't think of anything. Anu x Gecko, ship name Anko. Oh, I noticed their interactions when Anu first debuted, and I can definitely see why people shipped them. Anu really seems to get along with Gecko rather than Catboy and Owlet, which is understandable when you think about how Gecko is the more mature one, and Anu is more stoic and serious, I guess. Gecko x Night Ninja, ship name Gek Ninja. Gecko is just shippable with every character, I swear. I've never been into this ship myself, but I know a lot of people have, and honestly, slay. Gecko x Owlet, ship name Geckolet. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this ship before. I got no thoughts on it, because like Catco, I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I'm a catlet girly, and I feel like Gecko has always been a third wheel. Poly PJs is a thing though, I know of that one. Speaking of Poly PJs, we also have a few Poly ships in the mix. Gecko x Newton x Anu, ship name Traffic Light Trio. That is so cute. OP says, they fulfill any and every ship dynamic. Introvert x Extrovert, serious x Silly, traumatized and neurodivergent, you name it. Although they have yet to interact as a group, their personalities work really well together and they all have chemistry with each other. You know what, OP? Based. I can see this dynamic being great for them. Catboy x Bastet x Owlet, ship name Fluttering Kitties. You guys are so creative. OP says they all seem like they have potential to be close friends and their personalities would mesh really well together. Honestly, yeah, we got the cats and the catlet. Only thing I'm iffy on is Bastet and Owlet's relationship because that one episode they have together is, not great, but they do seem to get along in later episodes. Romeo x Luna x Night Ninja, or the Terrible Trio. This is interesting. Not sure how it would work. I see it as more of a sibling dynamic, but it's interesting for sure. I'm surprised Midnight Madness wasn't submitted. That's a ship with the main six that got pretty popular recently. There were also several rare pairs submitted that made me raise an eyebrow, but are probably worth mentioning. Flybot Sally x Matsuki, ship name Sailor Moth. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the most random rare pair I've ever heard of in my life. I can't think of a single reason for it, but go off, OP. PJ Robot x Robette. Now this one I'm iffy on because I see them as siblings, but they are robots, I guess, so to each their own. Owlette x Pirate Robot. Shipping a human with a robot, not really my thing, but if this is a ship you like, I can see where you're coming from with the whole Pirate Queen thing. Cameron x Amaya. I have never heard of this ship. This is completely out of left field, and honestly, it made me giggle. I'd love to hear the reasoning for this one. Last but not least, Blob wrote an essay about their favorite ship, Fastet, which they made pretty popular online. Blob did not want to read this essay on their own, so I will be performing my best Blob impression. I don't just like the ship. I'm the CEO of the ship. Okay, so, 1. The enemies to lovers dynamic. Who doesn't love this dynamic? Let's be real. Since the very beginning, they were mortal enemies. In the books, they canonically fight every single night. And in the show, Bastet was magically created to fight Pharaoh Boy. The point I'm getting at is that they don't hate each other. Because of the Sun Factory episode, it showed that they can work together well, and they even admitted to being a good team, even though they still disliked each other. The writers knew what they were doing, I'm telling you. 2. They're polar opposites, but still reflect each other. Both of their designs use purples and yellows, with PB having purple as the dominant color and Bastet having yellow as her dominant color. On their necklaces specifically, Pharaoh Boy has a red beetle and Bastet has a purple gem. Just like their eyes! PB has purple, Bastet has red. Not to mention that, again, bringing up the Sun Factory episode, when the sun disk and staff of Ra were used together, they were perfectly aligned. I'm not saying they were made for each other, but they were made for each other. 3. Their personalities mesh really well, in my opinion. Like I said, I love the enemies to lovers dynamic, but the dynamic isn't what makes the ship. The two characters also have to have personalities that could work together. Biggest reason why I don't like Night U. Bastet and Pharaoh Boy constantly tease each other and don't take any crap from the other. Both also come from sophisticated backgrounds, which just creates the I'm better than you, no I am dynamic. They're competitive, but also care for the other. Bastet is a girl boss that won't take PB's BS, and PB is a diva that needs to be grounded from his high horse. And I am so here for it. They just balance each other out while still making the relationship fun and interesting. 4. Their ages don't make the ship weird. Both Bastet and PB are literally gods. The characters were based and named off of ancient Egyptian gods, at least in the books. My point is, they're immortal, and even if they weren't, they're both still the same age, around 3,000. Because these two were enemies since day one. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you liked the blob impression. I can't do a Slovenian accent, so I didn't try. That's all for today. If your ship was not mentioned in the video, tell us a little bit about it in the comments. And no shipping wars, please! People are allowed to ship what they want. Fandom is supposed to be fun. Do what you want forever. Alright, that's all for now. Kevin out.